So these Ayurvedic intellectuals and practitioners probably meticulously observed these tastes and their effects on the body, the mind, and the life force, our spiritual souls, and then
Yeah.
developed these sophisticated and scientific system of healing. I feel based on all these observations. So there's like a whole lot of observations that went into it. That's what my thought process is here.
Absolutely. No, I'm very, it was a very thrilling experience to read, That's why I got so addicted to Dravya Guna. And it gets better as we discuss further, it gets more interesting, it gets more scientific. And I think what Ayurveda education or this field of Dravya Guna has changed in me is previously I used to go with the concept of modern medicine is everything. I grew up, probably I was influenced more by it, but I think the day I started to understand Dravya Guna, everything that my grandmother said or everything what my mom says about don't take this is very bitter, this might have that action in your body, they would talk like this. But then I was like, in Marathi we say kai hot nahi, nothing happens. No, I didn't understand the scientific importance behind it until I studied Dravya Guna. And that's
Yeah,
why I
yeah,
say
no.
that, yeah, it is the best field. If you want to practice, improve your practice with Ayurvedic herbs, you should study Dravya Guna to the core, to understand how scientific it is. And it's going to help you immensely with choosing the right herbal combination for the right condition.
Yeah, I totally, absolutely agree with you there because I wasn't even enrolled in an Ayurvedic college when that Dravya Guna book was I
Yeah.
bought that and I started pouring into it, and I was like, okay, I really, really need to go into this and study everything else because I needed to understand the srotas and Vata Pitta
Yeah.
Kapha because those things were not very clear at that time, right? So I was
Yeah.
just reading the book as a scientist. So I agree with you. That book is amazing. There is a lot of information in that book, and every time I read it, even to this day, I feel I relearn, and relearn a lot
Yeah.
of things, and
Yeah.
it is, yeah, it is. So, in your thinking, what else contributes to this synergy that we are talking today? Like, what else is there?
Yeah, so like I said, it just keeps getting better and more interesting. There are two more concepts. We have covered rasa, we have covered virya. Uh,
Hmm.
we have we are yet to cover the concepts of vipaka, and which is the post digestive effect, like what happens when the herb goes inside the body and is digested. That is called as vipaka. And there is prabhava, which is a absolute special potency of the herb which cannot be predicted. Like this is something prabhava, unpredictable, right? So a skilled Ayurveda practitioner with a lot of experience will combine herbs not only based on their individual properties but also on the understanding of how they synergistically interact within our body. So in this case, we consider vipaka and prabhava also, if you want to understand how herbs interact synergistically in the body. To give example, let us go into combinations. We have discussed single herbs till now. Triphala, for example, most commonly used
Yeah.
amlaki, haritaki, and vibhitaki. Like, and Triphala is known to balance all the three doshas. Okay, three dosha hara. Now, if you look at it, when you segregate the herbs in this combination, amlaki has sweet vipaka, or it has a sweet post digestive effect, and it has a cooling prabhav. It is a cooling virya or this thing. Okay, so this combination of properties will help in rejuvenation and tissue nourishment. It goes without saying. Now,
Hmm.
when you look at haritaki, which is quite opposite to the amla, haritaki has pungent or katu vipaka, so
Hmm.
pungent aftertaste, and because of that unique prabhava, haritaki promotes detoxification and it stimulates digestion. Okay,
Yeah.
we are talking about vibhitaki next, which has a sweet aftertaste and detoxifying as well. But the combination enhances respiratory health. Vibhitaki is one of the best herbs for cough and cold,
Hmm.
that we commonly prefer. So together, when all of these are combined, Triphala is known to support digestion. We all know that it is a very good detox formulation. It is a rejuvenative as well. It enhances overall vitality, right? So different herbal combinations in different ratios are producing certain post-digestive effect and also producing prabhava, which is a unique potency, a unique pharmacological action, which only happens when these three herbs are combined together and not individually, not given individually, right? That is the difference. If you talk about ashwagandha, ashwagandha has a sweet vipaka, madura. So even though ashwagandha has ushna virya that we were just discussing, it has hot potency. But despite being a hot potency herb, it has a sweet vipaka, which is the prabhava, which is the uniqueness of it, unique pharmacological action of it. So because of that sweet vipaka, ashwagandha is known to produce strength. It is known to produce vitality. It is known to reduce stress. And ashwagandha is known to enhance muscle strength as well. That is why we use it in conditions where patients are experiencing weight loss, muscular muscle loss. And if you talk about shatavari, shatavari is again sweet vipaka, and it has a cooling prabhava, a cooling effect. So shatavari is known to nourish and balance female reproductive system and hormones. It supports lactation as well. So when we combine these two together, they are known to enhance overall strength, they are known to enhance overall vitality, and most importantly for hormonal balance. So yes, vipaka and prabhava, understanding of these two concepts also helps a vaidya understand how herbs can synergistically interact within our body.
Wow, that's amazing. Thank you. A few things that I was thinking about when you were speaking
Yeah,
is the vipaka, right? Which is the post digestive, right? Which is what we in the Western medicine or in drug development we would call it the metabolic pathway, right? Once the drug is metabolized, how many more ingredients are there which could also still have an effect further down the downstream? So that's something that these in this ancient medicine had already thought about, right? The metabolites and what is happening. That's where the post-digestive effect is also considered the vipaka, right? I feel, and the prabhava is probably also like the effect I was talking about, right? The drug, the the formulation itself and the metabolic effect having more effect also. So it's like that combined prabhava that I think I'm understanding simply, and I thought I'll explain it to our listeners. And also when you were talking about all these herbs, especially ashwagandha, and you said the muscle strength. I know how it's become so popular and trendy, I know, and to use ashwagandha to build muscle strength in athletes and all those people. And like again, when you brought in the fact that it is ushna and it can create heat, I think those are the things that very important to talk about for people to know that how Ayurvedic practitioners and the Ayurvedic gurus and the sages had put these together with a lot of thought into these herbs and the in the body and the body needs, right, like muscle and all in people who need weight gain or who need muscle strength, right? So there was a reason. I mean, that's how these things came together, and that's something that has to be brought out and be there's a lot of education to be done, I feel, because these can't be used indiscriminately. There has to be a reason of use. And I think in this holistic approach, considering not only the medicinal properties of these herbs and how they interact with the body systems is, I think, is pretty useful or pretty important. But and I also know that when we look at the pharmacology of these Ayurvedic herbs, it's very complex, and it's very, that's why I was talking about this, about ashwagandha for an example. And it's also a very multifaceted topic, and I feel it involves, like in Dravya Guna, right? There is like a
yeah,
complex understanding of chemical composition. There's mechanism of actions there. The
yeah.
therapeutic effects of the numerous compounds in there is kind of discussed in a very in there as well. And I think the understanding of pharmacology of these herbs, Ayurvedic herbs, I think in always involves exploring the complex interaction between those bioactive compounds, right,
Yeah.
in the earth. And then the physiological processes and what is the therapeutic outcome is also very
Correct.
critical. And I know that there's many studies about there, and probably a lot more are happening and being considered, and something that we both have been talking as well, offline, about how to make different formulations and how
Yeah.
to do studies. I think integrating this traditional knowledge with the modern pharmacological research will probably and hopefully provide some valuable insight into what kind of therapeutic potential is there in these herbs and
Yeah.
like stored, and support also how they can be taken safely and how and effectively in healthcare overall, I feel. And but I'm also curious to understand your view on the like the pharmacodynamics and pharmacokinetics, the PDPK in Ayurveda. How do you what do you have to say?
Yeah. So this is like
If you want to watch the answer, stay tuned for part 4.